So, sanctification, realizing your God-ordained purpose. My dad always says that sanctification is God's program for your life. So if we are not perfecting holiness, we're perfecting sinfulness. If our lives do not produce holy fruit, we are in the image of Satan, bringing glory to him and not God. Now, this seems harsh, but it's a fact. If our lives are not producing holy fruit, someone's getting glory from our lives, and it ain't God. There's no middle way. There's no gray spirit, which is half good and half bad. If we are not producing fruit, Satan is being glorified, right? And he's getting glory, not God. Coming to church doesn't make you or necessarily mean you're holy. By this, my Father is glorified, that ye bear much fruit, so you will be my disciples. That is the marker of whether you are a son and a believer. It's your fruit. It's not what you said, not the way you can dance, not the tongues you can speak. Can you produce fruit? Because that's how you glorify God. We should not delude ourselves. God is in the business of results. He expects a return on his investment. Unlike most of our modern day preachers, God is unequivocal when stating his requirements of his people. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth fruit. God is in the results business. God has done far too much, especially in the condescension and the death, burial, and resurrection of his son, for us to not be producing fruit out here. Let's not take God for a joke. Yeah, we can't be thinking that it's okay for us to just be Christians. Herein is my Father glorified, that ye produce much fruit. What does it mean to be a Christian if you don't produce fruit? God is quite clear. If you don't bear fruit, he's going to cut you off. And if you do, he's going to purge you, which means you're going to go through some stuff so that you can bring more fruit. You're going to put you through some stuff so that your faith can be increased, so that you can produce more and more fruit. It's quite simple. God did not call us to join a religion. He called us into a kingdom of priests. He has a definite plan of action for our life. That plan of action is active service. That's a military term. Everybody in the kingdom has a job, a ministry, or a calling. God is not impressed with our Sabbaths if our other days are not holy. The Bible says we are the light of the world, not the light of the church. I'll explain that in a second. God is the light of the church. He expects us to radiate his light to the world. Just as the Father radiated his light through his Son, now we, his representative body, must show the world his image to the glory of God the Father. Now, what does that mean by we're not the light of the church? Think about us as a bulb, right? And we all come together as these bulbs, and we're just bright together, right? What is the point if our brightness is only when we come together? If our brightness is only when we come in the building? This is why lockdown has been great, because some people, they're Sunday morning performers. They got nothing outside of Sunday morning. We are the light of the world. Christ is our light. He is the light of the life of men. He's in us. But if that is not radiating into the world, if we're not going into the highways and the hedges and compelling men to come, what are we? This is the fruit of which he speaks. He's talking about in his Great Commission that we're supposed to go and make disciples. Guess what? We're supposed to make disciples who can make disciples. Are we doing that? Can anybody come to us and can we disciple them? Because that's what it really is. This is what when Paul is getting upset with the Hebrews about them being milky. He's like, you need to get to the place where you can take meat so that you can actually feed some others some milk. This is a reproductive process, right? God used 12 men, and what we have now is because of 12 men, right? Because 12 men were able to reproduce after their own kind. So a question to you is, can you reproduce after your own kind? Now, I hope that the kind that you are of is of Christ. But if you are of the devil, you're going to reproduce more devils. And there's a lot of churches that just produce devils. So I have a question. Do you know what your calling, gifting, or ministry is? Are you making full use of it?